What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Hologram. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and if this is actually worth investing in or not. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Hologram went down on Friday 7.14%, which was rather odd, only because a lot of Chinese stocks were going up significantly, and not only that, getting a lot of abnormal buying. And that was all stemming from this right here. So on February the 14th at 3 a.m., loan data, and it actually 5x'd the forecast. So essentially meaning that there's a lot of people out there getting loans, and in turn that's going to stimulate the market tenfold. So that is very good. Market loved it. Chinese stocks loved it. Just oddly enough, Hologram didn't. And this isn't actually the first time that Hologram has lagged. Tail end of 2014, when China was starting to announce a lot of stimulus plans, Chinese stocks were running up like 15-20%, absolute craziness. Hologram was flat, if not red. And I did videos at the time saying how this does show that people just don't trust Hologram. And lo and behold, since then, I feel like things have developed tenfold. So when it comes down to Hologram though, let's get right to some of the recent news, and then I'll go over some other stuff. But so they put out news February the 14th, 13th, 12th, 10th. So they've been still continuing this PR blitz. And as I've stated in the past, some people might disagree with me on this, but they are only doing that solely to avoid a reverse stock split. They are trying to hype up people. So this news just on this screen has roughly around probably 4 different topics. So here they have done news on their intellectual property, which was their business plan in 2023, 2024, piggybacking off of the EV hype. And then they did recently transition to quantum. That was done in December. And so that, again, piggybacking off of the hype at the time, they've kind of dabbled with news here and there, but they have also talked on Bitcoin. So that's a new one that they just dropped roughly in the last 2 weeks, saying that they want to plan or buy like 200 million in either Bitcoin or digital currency related security. So that one's right here. And then as well, they are piggybacking off of the DeepSeek hike. So I think they're just doing so many things. It's absolutely insane. So that obviously leads me to believe that they are just trying to drive up hype. We'll have to find out from their upcoming earnings. So ultimately, with them being a Chinese company, they do have to submit their annual earnings at least 120 days at the end of the year. Or sorry, I guess of the beginning of the year, same thing, but ultimately April-ish. And so they submitted it April 2nd in 2024. So most likely it'll be same kind of around that time frame. So we'll be able to see exactly what their business has been doing and everything, how much cash they have. They did announce that recently. I think it's like 237 if I remember correctly, but nonetheless though, we'll have a lot of clarity on what is actually happening. So given everything and just the greatness of what their business is actually doing, I feel like this is still one of those ones that you just need to watch. You can always ride the hype up. When Hologram, for whatever reason, decides it wants to go higher, which in my opinion, as I've kind of announced in the past, I think it is dilution related, but nonetheless, for whatever reason it does go up, you can definitely piggyback off of that and make some pretty good money, but it is all about timing. As I have stated, I know I'm kind of hated a little bit because I have no filter. I just say how it is. If I think a company isn't good, I kind of say it. But at the same time, I also see the potential. So Hologram has a lot of money. They are kind of going in the Bitcoin route. And if, for instance, they do that and Bitcoin goes to 200,000, 300,000, then yeah, Hologram, you're going to be very, very rich from that. But vice versa, if let's say Bitcoin goes down to 50, then yeah, there goes your investment. So they're kind of gambling essentially. But even when that news did come out, as I kind of stated, no different than if a company announces a share buyback, it is only a plan. So they don't actually have to do it. If they do it, then so be it, then you can kind of adjust accordingly. But I think this is just only a plan and will never come to fruition. They're just, again, trying to piggyback off of hype, which I don't think the market liked it all that much. It caused it to go down roughly 3% that day. But even looking over the last 1 year, down 99.71%. So it is all about timing. And I've been covering hologram for roughly around a year, and I've been stating that anyone investing money in hologram is going to just lose a ton of money. And that's not even count, I haven't gone down and talked on that whole, like all the notes that they've been doing, and that how that is going to just be magnified at these prices when they do have to pay those kind of interest payments through convertible stock. It's a interesting scenario. But nonetheless, though, if you did get in to hologram, let's say because you want one of these crazy spikes, which is very attractive, so I feel like a lot of people did get in because of this. If you are one of those individuals, sorry to disappoint you, that will never happen again. And I'm pretty confident on that, only because this right here was prior to them having options. So options single-handedly killed the chances of hologram having a squeeze. And the reasoning is, if someone is shorting hologram, let's say $1.30 or $1.50 or whatever, what they can do to hedge is they just buy a $2 call, and then that way if hologram for whatever reason starts to run up to, let's say, I don't know, $50 for instance, just throwing out a random number, then shorts are essentially covered, right? Because they have that $2 call, they get to cover and buy it at $2, so they don't have to cover at 50. So there won't be any squeezes anymore, or any likelihood of a squeeze, because of options. So prior to that, it was a very true squeeze play because shorts had no way to hedge. I was very excited about that, but unfortunately because of this, it did kill the likelihood of all of this ever to happen again. So if you are investing in hologram, you are literally investing in this right here. So you need to really hope that they start to organize and concentrate their thoughts to really portray that like they're going to be doing something viable. And even the latest news that did come out right here on February the 14th, market didn't like it because it just is overly complex once again. So clearly they are not writing it, they're just getting AI to write it. And then also B, this is just them talking. It's not an actual viable business. All it says is that they're teaching DeepSeek to essentially learn. And so how are they going to make money off of this? They haven't really explained any of that. They did previously mention that they're going to be pivoting to quantum, but this is not quantum whatsoever, completely different. So it's just very gray on exactly what they are doing. So in my opinion, is this worth buying? I would personally wait. Again, you can always ride the wave up. You can make some money over the last 5 days. If you bought, let's say, $1.20, sold at $1.40, then yeah, you made some pretty good money, quick flip. But it is all about timing with this stock. And even again over the last 6 months, down 77.65% alone. So it is all about catching the right moment when you start to see abnormal buying and volume, and then you can get in, and obviously an exit plan is very much needed. So let me know your thoughts on hologram. I know this might be bursting a lot of people's bubbles because I think they are really having a lot of high hopes with hologram, but I think the company honestly is just stringing people along based on all this news. They're just a hype stock trying to find the next big thing, and possibly in the next month there might be a new kind of fad that comes out that I'm sure hologram will even be pivoting towards operationally. So it's just another very weird kind of scenario. So let me know your viewpoint on that. As far as shorts, it does indicate 29.84% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 6.1 million shares overall are being shorted. So if you do believe that, let's say, dilution is occurring behind the scenes, then this number right here will be directly affected, right? So if they are diluting, that number will be a lot lower. So let me know your thoughts on that. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what the 20F in April does say, so their annual earnings. So have you been buying Hologram? Have you been selling? What's your general thoughts on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And then one final thing, if you are looking for buy signals, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point, so definitely pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.